Thank you so much, Mrs. Maxova. I'm honored to be a guest of your event. And thank you so much, Miriam Radjavi, and I'm so happy to see you again. It's an honor and a pleasure to support you in any way we can. I think you're one of the most courageous women around the world, and you're really and truly an inspiration for me. Your endurance is beyond comprehension, and your courage is so great. It's really of admiration that I speak to you. So, this having said, I wanted to tell my colleagues, but also the women who are here, that I attended the conference in February for the International Women's Day in Paris, and this was a very inspirational event as well. All these women, you know, and from all these backgrounds, and from America, South America, they came from everywhere, right? And it was such a wonderful atmosphere. And it told us that your movement and the opposition of Iran is really, truly backed by the right and the left and the political center. We're really aligning, we're joining together to remove the terrible regime in Iran that is currently there. And all these women were chanting like women, resistance and freedom, you know, women, resistance, freedom. It was really impressive. I thought it was impressive. And what does it mean? Well, it has a historical connotation, I learned. In the last 45 years, from the onset of the Iranian regime, it was the Iranian women who also paid a very heavy price for freedom. And they are brave, but they were tortured, they were imprisoned, and of course there were a lot of executions, and there's a massive repression. And but we still see more and more women coming together to support the opposition in Iran, and this is really a hopeful side, I think. And it's only appropriate to recognize and acknowledge the historical and crucial role of women have played in the struggle for democracy in Iran. I'm a chair of the oldest and first Ladies Association in the Netherlands. And of course, we get our freedom for free. We got it for free. So, and we take it for granted a lot of times, you know. And then I see you, you know, you have to struggle so much. And we must remember that the regime has mobilized the entire state, including security, intelligence, and judicial institutions against the Iranian people, not only women, of course, but the Iranian people, to stay in power. And this state of repression has been built on and enforced with misogyny. So they are afraid of the power of the Iranian women, and they should be afraid of the power of the Iranian women, because I do love men. I don't want to underestimate them, but I've learned that men are powerful and we need them, you know, in opposition. But I also learned that women have a long way to, you know, they are resilient, and they have a capacity for endurance. That's it. You know, we keep going. Yeah, we keep going. So I'm hopeful for the Iranian future. And I want to focus on the case, before I close, of Mariam Akbari Monfaret. I hope I pronounce it right. But she is, of course, an inspiration to all of us as well. And this is typical, also a woman with a lot of courage, a lot of strength, who keeps on going, you know, and is still going strong, and is, I think, an inspiration to all of us. She was taken, for everybody who doesn't know, to the Evin prison at midnight of December 2009, without being able to say goodbye to her daughters, which is, of course, terrible. And in addition to the 15 years she has spent in prison to date, she was recently sentenced to another 3 more years. which is, of course, terrible. And her crime was that she seek justice for 4 of her siblings, executed ruthlessly by the clerical regime. And this is, of course, a normal thing to do. No one should be punished for seeking justice. This is clear to all of us here. Her sister and brother were executed during the massacre of 30,000 political prisoners in the summer of 1988, a fact that a lot of people in the West, in Europe, are not aware of still. This is shocking, because these numbers go beyond comprehension. And she wrote from Evin prison, now the spring of freedom is on the way. And I believe she's right. Spring will come. It will pass through the barbed wires and land in your homeland, not my homeland, but your homeland. And this is exact the meaning of resistance, and I hope she can hear us today. I asked the Commission, and I know there will be a new one at the start of the next mandate, but I asked the Commission to do everything that is possible legally and to do whatever they can to get rid of this criminal regime and instead a democratic one. One, I think, should be under the leadership of Mariam Rajavi with her 10-point plan. And, well, we are here together today as women, and I hope and some men, some men, and I hope we will see each other on a regular basis, also during election time, because I think an election campaign is a good time to get people's attention for serious business. Elections are important, but removing the regime in Iran is the most important thing, I think, not only for Iranian people, but also for people in Europe. Because Iran is, of course, the source of, well, I don't exaggerate when I say it's the source of all evil. It's the source of proxy wars, it's the source of terrorism, it's the source of terror, and it's the source of, well, death, mainly. So I leave it at that. I'm with the promise that I will support you and do whatever I can to help you to get Iran to a new future in which democracy, freedom of speech and choice will be a fact of life and just as normal as it is in the Netherlands. Thank you.